from yesterday. A rematch of Week 1, the Commanders and Bucks. A divisional round spot on the line for these two teams in Jayden Daniels' playoff debut. We start in the second. Jayden Daniels finds Dyami Brown in the back of the end zone, and Washington is up 7-3. What a throw, what a catch. Mere seconds before halftime, Baker Mayfield finds Mike Evans for the score. The game is tied at 10 at the half. Let's go to the final stanza. We pick it up in the fourth quarter, and here it's 4th and goal. Daniels trying to connect with Zach Ertz, but the pass falls incomplete. The Commanders turn it over on downs in a key moment, a key play. This game was tight throughout, but Jayden Daniels never backed down. The very next drive, Baker Mayfield in a big moment, a big opportunity, but he coughs it up, giving Washington great field position, a huge turning point in the game. Baker Mayfield has owned it. He's been super critical of himself, and yet it was a moment that he just can't get back. Daniels facing a 4th and 2. He finds his top target. Terry McLaurin, the Commanders are now up 20-17, up by 3 with the divisional round on the line. Under 4 minutes remaining, the game's tied at 20, and Daniels finds Dyami Brown 21 yards on 3rd and 6. Later in the drive, Daniels showing off his legs. He keeps it.
Boogie, I love this call. I love the fact getting him out in space, letting him be the athlete and create.
You saw Elijah Cansey, he couldn't get him caught up there, and Zane Gonzalez steals one right there. The doink in, 37 yards out. All season long, the Commanders find ways to win in the clutch. Daniels leads Washington to a dramatic 23-20 victory, and that means he carries on into the playoffs facing the Lions. Okay, so the Lions are among the most man-heavy and blitz-heavy defenses in the NFL, but that scheme has left them vulnerable at times to mobile quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have averaged 6.2 yards per rush against the Lions this season, which is the second highest in the NFL. Jayden Daniels, meanwhile, ranked second among quarterbacks in rush yards during the regular season. So, Dan and RC, and Dan, we go to you first. Will Jayden's legs be put to use in this one?
I think it'll be huge. They are every game for Jayden Daniels. He's just that type of player. It'll be interesting. Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for Lions, I think he feels good about playing man coverage against Washington because you're really scared of Terry McLaurin. But you have to have such an incredible, I guess, plan, but also execution for how to handle both in design and out of structure runs from Jayden.
And you look at what they were able to do last week against Sam Darnold. They played a lot of man on the back end, but they were adding their backers into the blitz.
Yeah.
You know, now those backers hang and sort of hover and be a spy on Jayden Daniels. Also, I believe that now Zach Ertz and Austin Eckler in his return become huge against those second-level linebackers, being able to use some confusion if you're Cliff Kingsbury, whether it's rubs, halfback angles, high-low meshes, and to have those guys work in the middle in tandem with Jayden being able to use his legs.
Yeah, Detroit doesn't have a ton of, at least, experience in defending the quarterback run. You know, they haven't played against a ton of teams that it's a big part of their offense. And so you're trying to, I'd imagine as a coach, figure out what have we done that we've done versus other quarterbacks that have been successful. I don't think there's a great blueprint or plan for that.
There
defense.
isn't, and they really haven't seen a scheme like the Commanders as well, where they can get in hurry up, where they use the quarterback run. I think what's going to have to be huge is Brian Robinson needs to step up in the run game to give you at least the option of giving that ball on the zone read, finding success, and that gets you into play action.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge in the game to see how they handle that no huddle, and then also in those passing situations, who do they specifically choose as the spy on Jayden Daniels?
Yeah, that's big. That's big. And also, too, Dyami Brown sort of ascending, I think, could be big against that one-on-one man-to-man coverage.
We saw him be clutch in this wild card game with Jayden Daniels. The Lions, by the way, favored by 9 points. They are at home, so big game. And then check out the scene from LA this morning. The Rams lined up buses for their season ticket holders who are heading to the game tonight. In all, the Rams provided 30 buses for upwards of 1,500 fans to make the trip over here. You see the smiles on their faces, and certainly special for these Rams fans. There's some video from one of the buses, very festive, as the Rams fans are making their way here to California. Now, Adam Schefter back with us. And Adam, how are the Rams feeling about all of this as they deal with this now becoming a neutral site game while thinking about their loved ones certainly back in LA?
Well, that video is outstanding, and obviously the city has been through so much over the course of the last week. There were members of the Rams organization that lost their homes in the devastating wildfires that swept across the area. Rams head coach Sean McVay had to evacuate his home in the Los Angeles area, and this is a team that arrived here in Arizona and has been in Arizona since Friday, and that is created what the team has felt like a Super Bowl atmosphere. The team has been through a Super Bowl before where you're away from home preparing for a game, your families are there, and this to the Rams organization has felt a little bit like getting ready for a Super Bowl when in fact you're getting ready to play a wild card game in Arizona that is the first postseason game that has been moved. As for the Minnesota Vikings and their focus tonight, they want to find a way to win, but they also recognize the interest in two of their coaches. Both Brian Flores and Josh McCown have gotten head coach interview requests. Flores by the Bears, Jaguars, and Jets. The Jets have requested the offensive coordinator, Josh McCown. And so two Vikings assistant coaches are expected to conduct interviews with those teams whenever their season ends or potentially this upcoming week, whenever they can do that. So there's that order of business as well for the Vikings tonight, Laura.
Yeah, when we spoke with Brian Flores yesterday, he mentioned how he would be excited to talk to other teams, very focused on this game, of course, but wanted to share what he's learned in his journey as a coach. We'll continue to pay attention to how it all shakes out. And Adam, more breaking news as Mike McCarthy is out in Dallas. What's going on there?
Well, the Cowboys now have officially announced that they and Mike McCarthy are moving on. And what was interesting in the statement released from Jerry Jones is that he said that there were lengthy conversations with Mike McCarthy last week about football questions and issues surrounding the Dallas Cowboys, but at no point in those conversations did they ever get to the point of contract negotiations. So not only was a deal not close, but it never materialized. They never discussed it, and now the Dallas Cowboys are in the market for a new head coach, and Mike McCarthy is expected to be able to interview with other teams, the Bears and the Saints. Both have him on their list, and it would not be a surprise at all if McCarthy wound up interviewing in both places.
Okay, let's start there then, Dan. Bears and Saints, potential destinations for McCarthy. Do you like those? And then are there any others that you think McCarthy would be a good fit for?
I would be very interested if I were the Chicago Bears. I have felt for 2 weeks now, I actually prefer Mike McCarthy in Chicago over Ben Johnson. That doesn't mean anything negative about Ben Johnson. Number one, Mike McCarthy is a great leader. I think we can establish, or that's been established. Number two, he's been there and done that. Number three, he's got a track record of developing quarterbacks in structure. He did it with Aaron Rodgers many years ago. I think he elevated Dak Prescott's game to a level that he consistently played at a top 10 quarterback performance-wise. And Caleb Williams, if you're going to ask me the one thing that he's got to really take that jump on, it's playing in the structure of an offense. Now, I do think there needs to be a really good offensive coordinator that's with him, scheme-wise, but I've liked him in Chicago for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I don't think he should be the play caller wherever he goes. I do believe he understands how to structure an organization to put it in a position of success. We saw that with Green Bay. We've seen that with the Dallas Cowboys. But I do believe there needs to be more juice. I do believe there needs to be more creativity. And when you think about a place like the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams, someone like Thomas Brown, who it did seem as the offensive coordinator unlocked something in Caleb Williams early, could be a guy that returns there. So you at least keep some sort of relationship he's had previously. But when you think about Mike McCarthy, he has proven that when going into new places, he understands how to settle an organization and move forward. Is he the guy to bring you a championship right now? I'm not sure.
That's what leads me to my point, which is the timing of this makes it an interesting discussion. Because if we were having this conversation about Mike McCarthy after they got blown out by the Packers or after they lost to the 49ers, I think the tone would be a little bit different. There'd be a lot of skepticism. However, I was really impressed this year how after losing Dak Prescott, that team came to play week after week after week. So I think there are pluses and minuses.
You like him in Chicago?
I think your points are really good about sort of his ability to usher a new quarterback, and the leadership sort of cuts to what I was saying about how this team played. But the offensive coordinator hire, whether it's keeping Thomas Brown or moving on, is everything there.
They need an Ems Minger, Joe Brady type situation.
Yeah.
Like,
that was like a dual
LSU.
OC,
it was like a duo where you get the innovation of Joe Brady and all of those creative things, and to your point, the foundational part of offense.
Yeah,
but the thing though, but Mike McCarthy can do that from the head coaching position. He doesn't have to be involved in the offense daily to get that to happen.
You want to run some blood money? Try some of that shit. That shit's tight too. We'll run one after this one. Man, we're 5th fucking place, y'all. Fuck. Lose.
Warm up while you can. We deploy soon.
Bro, I can't believe I went 13 and 1.
Joe the guys in this game again, bro. He was doing pretty good.
Nuh-uh, for real? For real?
Yeah,
Yo,
he's,
that's
he's
fire,
the
bro. That's fire.
But I'm hungry.
.360 no scope, sir.
Tough game. Get kills with these weapons to win.
Damn, crip all talking and shit.
Damn.
Fuck. The Jonah dude killed the fuck out of me.
This nigga done motored my ass, boy.
Who?
Some dude. I don't know who the fuck it was. I was already in the shotgun.
You almost had me, sir.
Sub-Zero. Sit down. Scorpion. Special Forces Desert Command. Round one, fight.